what we have found out about philosophical, ethical, and political aspects of the two global challenges leads me now to some reflections on the deep change in the very definition of politics at the end of modernity. Why do I speak of the end of modernity? Not because I am a French post-modernist. On the contrary, I have very little to do with postmodernism, and I also believe postmodernism simply reproduces or mirrors the errors of modernity. But let me go straight to the specific items. I start with a brief recollection of what politics meant and still means in modern times. Is practiced under moderate challenges, in the sense that what you can lose for political reasons is, at the worst, your individual life or the freedom of your own freedom and the freedom of your country. And it's bad enough, but not so catastrophic. Technology used to be in modernity, in the early modernity, a morally neutral tool. Nobody raised ethical questions about, let's say, the steam engine. Politics and even social life was dominated by distribution conflicts around divisible goods. And politics consists of allocating them in an authoritative way. This is the definition of politics I gave at the outset of the MOOC. The conflicts, even the armed conflicts in modernity, unfold in a narrow time horizon and in a relatively stable civilizational environment. Even after the terrifying the World War II, peoples and countries were able to find back to their old settings, traditions, and so on. The security of the country, or the external security, was a disjunctive feature, in the sense that my security was achieved through or thanks to your insecurity, and was fully provided by the state. And finally, to quote a famous Latin saying, "Salus Republicae suprema lex esto," the safety of the Commonwealth was regarded as the supreme obligation for politicians, statesmen, and citizens. What has changed at the end of modernity? I speak of end of modernity because I think that globalization, but primarily global challenges, have put an end to modernity in the structure we were acquainted with it. The challenges have become not at all moderate, but lethal. Technology, let's say nuclear physics or genetics, have become morally significant. We know, unlike our grandfathers who had no idea that using cars or coal unleashed global warming, we know, and we know now a lot about the future effects of our actions. Global commons, the atmosphere, first of all, it's not just the atmosphere, but it's most important because it's so essential to human life, can be saved or lost only as a whole. It's not a divisible good. It cannot be divided into parcels. And the safety of the Commonwealth, the Salus Republicae, is now possible only if the Salus Humani Generis, the safety of humankind, is safeguarded. And finally, the state is no longer what it used to be, that is the main provider of security. It provides an insufficient security, and it even creates more insecurity that it wanted to put a remedy to, which can be seen as the, let's say, the nuclear culmination of the so-called security dilemma. Well, what is the outcome of all these reflections? It's, I think, the necessity of setting up conceptually a second definition of politics that complements the first one, the initial one that I gave at the beginning of the MOOC, but it also collides with it. And it is the notion that politics must also be the activity aimed at saving and managing, rationally managing our global commons, not just on our own behalf, but also on behalf of future generations. Do not try to find in this formula any idea of redemption or salvation. I'm just saying that what is needed if global challenges are to be met is to complement traditional politics with this kind of politics. And on the other hand, I also want to convey the idea that if change, radical change, fails to materialize, humankind is likely to be doomed, and the name of our generations will be cursed by the generations of the far future. In this sense, the two Hobbesian threats to the survival of humanity are not longer related, as for Hobbes, to the self-centered individuals caring for their own survival, but are related to humankind as a species, animal species of a certain kind, an animal species that is in need of, as I said before, need of civilization in order to survive. And this seems, let's say, Hobbesian feature of the two global challenges to provide a compelling, binding motivation to make room for politics number two. But we will see that it isn't that easy. Next video.